saw that float plane go by. Those might be my mangoes.
The play's closing. You're going to do, Megan's doing a musical. Are you going to be involved with that, or are you going back to work on Parks and Rec soon?
I'm going back this fall. We're doing our final season, and it's been pretty traumatic.
I can imagine. I didn't know that. Is that generally known?
It is, yeah. It's been announced, and not only is it our final season, but it's going to be abbreviated, only 13 episodes. And I guess it's not official, but an NBC executive has stated they're going to put us on, they're going to hold us until January, so it airs in the spring, all of which just feels, you know, it's been such an idyllic experience.
Yeah, what do you think you'll miss the most about it?
Getting a job for an actor is so lucky. It's like winning the lottery to get paid. I mean, you spend so many years just trying to get paid, getting your medical insurance. And so then when you start winning the lottery that way, then if you get a job on a show that you're proud of, that you would actually watch, that's like winning the crazy lottery. I mean, it's insane, just because, you know, most of what is produced in television and film is garbage. And so to be on something that you're actually proud of is unbelievable. And if that is created with love by a group of great like-minded artists, like our show is, it's just a ridiculous piece of good fortune. Now I feel like my mom is kicking me out of the house forever, and that's very sad. But at the same time, I'm so respectful of Mike Schur and his choice to end the show in as solid a way as possible on his own terms. And it's miraculous, given the fact that we haven't been a huge hit numbers-wise, that we will have, I think we'll end up with 125 episodes or something like that,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
On your own terms, more or less, just like all the great shows, you know, like MASH, you know, it was like, they decided when it was over, you know, especially in the past couple of weeks, you know, you've been hearing about all these different shows that aren't coming back, you know, after, you know, a number of seasons or whatever. And a friend of mine who was on one of those shows, and I kind of was preemptive. I wrote to him and said, it's time to reinvent yourself. You know, that's what life's really all about. Starting anew, you know, rediscovering and reinvent. He wrote back, that's not really a big deal to me. He's like, you know, I'll miss the cash and the camaraderie.
Those are things to be missed.
Oh, cash and camaraderie,
And that's why I love small independent films so much, because
right.
it feels like, because you can see everybody making it together.
Yeah.
That's why I can never lose a sense of value for the crew, because I'd have to be a huge asshole not to be fully aware that we're all making this piece together.
Sure.
I'm not Spalding Gray, where it's like me on a stage spilling genius from my mouth. I depend very much upon the collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, you bring maturity, that kind of awareness, you know. I mean, a lot of, you know, some people bring their dysfunction, you know.
Equally valuable.
I guess so, yeah,
For
sure.
years, I would audition, I think perhaps through connections at Will and Grace, a few different writers were trying to write me stuff for pilots and whatnot. So I tested for a lot of NBC pilots, and they would always say, he's funny, but he's a little weird, or he's a little intense, or he talks too slow.
Yeah.
And then finally, after NBC didn't want to cast me for 5 months, and then finally did, and then the role worked, and Mike Schur knew how to use me correctly. Yeah. Then NBC said, we found this guy. He's really intense, he's really weird, and you're gonna love how slow he talks. And I'm like, great, good job, you guys.
Yeah. Well, you made it. I mean, it got through. You know, the great thing, you know, that can happen sometimes, and you know, you really count on it happening. You know, to keep the culture going is to let the weirdness get in a little bit here and there. You know, like that guy, Anthology of American Folk Music. Like, yeah, you know, back in the days when, you know, kind of You know, things weren't so homogenized. You know, there was more individuality. You certainly bring, you're like something out of like the American anthology of folk. You're a folk hero, Nick Offerman.
My snake oil is the best.